Congratulations. Your miracle has arrived. Chosen one. You did not come upon these words by accident. This moment was not formed by chance nor shaped by coincidence. It was ordained long before you were born, written into the hidden pages of eternity by the hand of the Almighty. This is not merely a message, it is a divine summons. Heaven has stirred and the atmosphere around your life is shifting because you, the chosen one, have reached the threshold of fulfillment. Every step you've taken, every tear that fell when no one saw, every whispered prayer uttered through trembling lips, it was not forgotten. Heaven recorded it. And now the Lord your God has appointed this hour to reveal that the time of waiting has expired. The silence you endured was not the absence of God, it was the preparation for something too great to be rushed. That greatness now stands before you. You have been seen in secret. You have been preserved in quietness. And now, without warning to the world but in perfect timing from above, your miracle enters the room. Not tomorrow, not someday. Now, you are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where divine hands have led you to be. And though the world around you cannot see what is being released, your spirit can feel it, the weight lifting, the light shifting the ground beneath you, awakening with purpose. This is not the beginning of hope, it is the beginning of manifestation. The heavens have opened, the page is turned, and the promise once whispered to your heart is now unfolding before your very life. You have endured more than most will ever know. Behind the quiet strength you carried, there were nights of silent weeping, and days where your smile concealed, a soul weighed down by weariness. But nothing has gone unseen. Every ache hidden beneath your ribs, every silent scream you buried under duty and hope, heaven saw it all. And now the time of sorrow has met its end. The season of suffering has completed its purpose. The trials that threatened to break you were never meant to destroy you, but to shape what would not bend. The delay that once felt like abandonment was in truth divine preservation. For what is arriving now could only be entrusted to someone who has been tested, refined, and found faithful. No longer will you live beneath the weight of what once was. The chain of delay has been shattered. The voice of disappointment has been silenced. What seemed unreachable has now been summoned by divine command. And as the dust of yesterday settles, you begin to see it. The first signs of what God prepared in the darkness, doors opening without your effort, burdens lifting without explanation, peace entering like breath returning after deep water. You were never forgotten in the storm. You were hidden, guarded, carried. Now you are being revealed not to the world's applause but to God's purpose, and with that revealing comes restoration, not in pieces but in fullness, not barely enough but more than enough, not someday but now. As C.S. Lewis wrote in Letters to Malcolm chiefly on prayer, we may ignore but we can nowhere evade the presence of God. The world is crowded with him. He walks everywhere incognito. This truth illuminates your hidden season. You were never forgotten. God's inescapable presence guarded you, incognito, preparing you for the fullness of restoration now unfolding. You have waited long, but your waiting has not been wasted. Every tear was a seed, every battle, a foundation, and every silent moment, a sacred preparation for the glory that now begins to unfold. You, chosen one, have carried more than what the world could ever measure. Beneath the strength you wore like armor, there were nights when the weight of silence nearly crushed your breath, and mornings when you rose with a heart still trembling from battles no one saw. Yet heaven never turned its face away. Every tear that fell behind closed doors, every whisper of "Lord, please help me," that passed through your lips in solitude, none of it was forgotten. Not a single moment escaped the gaze of the Most High. Your suffering was not in vain. The fire did not consume you, it refined you. The delay was not denial. It was divine timing, aligning with purpose. What felt like distance was actually the hand of God pulling you back, not to withhold, but to position you. You were not being punished, chosen one. You were being prepared. And now the preparation is complete. The season of sorrow has lifted its veil. The storm that once threatened to undo you has passed. The chains of delay that wrapped around your progress are breaking. The heaviness that clung to your chest like shadow is dissolving under the light of divine movement. Something is shifting in the atmosphere, not only around you but within you. This is your turning point, chosen one. No longer will you be defined by what hurt you. No longer will you carry the residue of old wounds into new seasons. What once stood against you has lost its voice. What once blocked your way has been cleared. You are stepping into a space where things begin to align without strain, where the right doors open without forcing, and where rest no longer feels like a distant dream but a present grace. Pause right here and comment, "My season has shifted." This is not just motivation, it's movement. Your words are not for the algorithm, they are for the atmosphere. Type it with faith. Declare it with boldness. Because when your mouth agrees with what heaven has already decreed, miracles manifest. You did not suffer for nothing. Every tear watered a harvest. You are now ready to reap. Every battle laid the groundwork for the glory you are now ready to carry. Every lonely moment trained your spirit to discern God's whisper in the absence of applause. And now, chosen one, the heavens declare, it is time to rise, time to receive, time to walk forward without fear or apology. The struggle that once marked your life will not follow you into this new season. The weight has been lifted, the suffering has ceased, and the blessing long prepared has been released into your path. There were moments, chosen one, when it felt as though your prayers dissolved into silence, when your faith stretched thin beneath the weight of delay. You watched others receive what you had longed for, and though you blessed them, your heart quietly asked, "Has heaven forgotten me?" But heaven has never forgotten you. Not once, not for a moment. You were not overlooked, you were observed in intimacy. While the world turned its face away, the Lord gazed steadily upon you. While others moved ahead, God was writing your name into the records of favor, not for fleeting success, but for something eternal, something that cannot be stolen, delayed, or denied. You, chosen one, have been hidden not to be ignored, but to be protected. Hidden not because you were unworthy, but because the weight of the calling on your life required shelter. The assignment placed upon you could not be exposed prematurely, and now that hiding place is being lifted. Now your name is being called forward not by men but by God himself. C.S. Lewis in the Screwtape Letters wrote, "The safest road to hell is the gradual one, the gentle slope, soft underfoot, without sudden turnings, without milestones, without signposts." This insight reflects the subtle dangers you were shielded from. Your hidden season was God's protection against the gradual drift of lesser paths, preserving you for the eternal purpose, now being revealed. Every silent act of obedience has been accounted for. Every seed you sowed in seasons of dryness is now rising. Your name has been spoken in places where your feet have not yet walked. Favor is now moving on your behalf, not as a reward for perfection, but as the unfolding of a divine covenant made long before you even knew how to ask. You are not standing here by chance, chosen one. You are standing at the intersection of timing and promise. What you feared had passed you by is now catching up with divine speed. The Lord has not only remembered you, he has crowned you with grace. You are stepping into the answers to prayers you forgot you prayed. You are entering into blessings you thought were lost to time. You have been written into favor, not lightly, not casually, but with holy permanence. No man can erase what heaven has recorded. No force can remove what God has established. And no lie spoken against your name can stand before the truth God has spoken over your destiny. This is not the hour of being passed over. This is the hour of being called forth. From the very beginning, chosen one, you were not alone. Even before you could speak the names of your fears, before you could identify what was rising against you, you were already surrounded by a covering not made by human hands. The protection of the Lord was never distant, never passive. It was near, active, and unshakable. You did not survive by chance. You were preserved by divine intention. Every danger that approached, every unseen weapon formed in darkness, was intercepted long before it could reach you. You walked through battles you didn't even know were being fought on your behalf. And though you may have felt vulnerable at times, in truth you were never unguarded. The hand of God was always upon you. There were seasons where the weight of pain made you question whether anyone saw what you carried. But even then, heaven watched with perfect clarity. There were traps laid, but they failed. There were words spoken to ruin you, but they scattered like ash. You stood in silence, while others whispered your name in judgment, but the Lord was the one who silenced every false voice. You passed through fire, yet no scar remains. Not because you were stronger than the flames, but because the fire was never stronger than the one who stood beside you. You, chosen one, have been hidden, not in fear, but in favor. Hidden not to be denied, but to be protected until the time of unveiling. The lions were real, but so was the stillness of God beside you. The drought was deep, but so was the secret stream of his provision. Just like Daniel, just like Elijah, you were kept. Every danger that could have ended you became a platform for the faithfulness of the one who holds your name. You were not protected by coincidence. You were defended by covenant. And it was not angels who carried the full weight of your rescue, it was God himself. It was his voice that calmed the chaos, his hand that lifted the burden, his presence that stood like a wall between you and everything that tried to destroy you. Now, as this new season unfolds, the protection that once preserved you in private will become your testimony in public. You will walk among those who questioned how you survived, and they will see for themselves what you have always known. Deep in your spirit, you belong to the Lord. Not one thread of your story was left unguarded. Not one season was wasted. You were covered then, and you are covered now. And the proof is not in what you avoided, but in what you overcame. Nothing in your life has been wasted. Not a single tear, not a single delay, not a single detour. What felt like missteps were in fact divine redirections. What seemed like rejection was actually protection. What broke your heart was the very thing that cleared space for something greater to be planted. You may not have understood it while you walked through it, but now the pieces begin to connect, not because life has suddenly made sense, but because heaven has begun to unveil what it was always orchestrating behind the veil. There were seasons you thought were lost, moments you believed were meaningless, but every silence trained your spirit to hear beyond noise. Every closed door preserved your destiny from lesser paths. Every collapse was a stripping of what could not come with you into the next season. You were not being punished, you were being pruned. And in the pruning, your roots went deeper, your discernment grew sharper. Your heart, though bruised, became more tender to the whispers of God. Nothing you endured was in vain. You were being prepared for weight, for responsibility, for impact. It was never about convenience. It was about capacity. The trials were not evidence of abandonment, but confirmation that you were chosen for something weightier than comfort could ever produce. When others were released quickly, you were held back, not because you were forgotten, but because you were being fortified. The greatness on your life required longer shaping, and so the delays came not to break your spirit, but to strengthen your foundation. You were being built to carry what others could not, and now that strength will speak through you, not in words alone, but in presence. Look back, chosen one, and you will begin to see it clearly. The prayers that were not answered the way you hoped were in fact answered in the way you needed. The relationships that ended painfully were exits designed to preserve your calling. The opportunities that slipped through your fingers were never yours to begin with. They were illusions meant to distract. Every loss that tore at your identity has now become a testimony of who you truly are, not what the world gave, but what heaven declared. Everything was preparation, and now that preparation becomes activation, you are not stepping forward empty, you are stepping forward equipped. You are not beginning from nothing, you are beginning from deep holy soil that was watered by tears, tested by fire, and held by God himself. What's ahead of you has been waiting for your readiness. And today, readiness has arrived. There is a kind of faith, chosen one, that does not shout from mountain tops but whispers through clenched teeth in the dark. The kind that chooses to believe even when the evidence is nowhere to be found. This is the kind of faith you carried, not always loud, not always perfect, but real, raw, steady. The kind of faith that does not demand signs but chooses to stand even when nothing moves. And heaven noticed. C.S. Lewis in the Screwtape Letters wrote, "Courage is not simply one of the virtues but the form of every virtue at the testing point." This profound truth captures the essence of your steadfast faith. Your quiet belief, whispered in dark moments, embodied courage at its testing point, moving heaven's heart and unlocking the harvest, now rising. You may not have seen the impact of your belief in the moment, but every act of trust was recorded. Every time you chose to speak life over your circumstances when fear begged you to remain silent, the heavens bore witness. Every time you got back up when it would have been easier to quit, angels stood still in reverence. Your faith did not go unnoticed. It moved the heart of God. You have believed through long nights, through aching silence, through waiting that stretched further than expected. And yet you held on. You clung to hope when others let it go. You prayed when nothing changed. You worshipped in empty rooms. You spoke truth when lies tried to settle in your mind. That kind of faith is not small, it is seismic. It shakes foundations. It shifts atmospheres. And it has shifted yours. This is not just a reward for waiting. This is a response to faith. Faith that said yes before seeing the finish. Faith that kept walking with questions still unanswered. Faith that whispered, "I trust you," even when God felt silent. Chosen one, your faith has opened what fear tried to close. Your belief has broken what doubt tried to lock. Doors are swinging wide now, not because of striving, but because of surrender. Not because of noise, but because of endurance. You were not just hoping, you were planting, and now the harvest of that unseen faith is rising. Breakthrough is no longer a distant idea. It has become your atmosphere. The miracle has already been released. It is moving toward you, responding to what your heart dared to believe when everything else said it was over. Your faith drew heaven near, and now heaven is drawing your destiny into alignment. So walk forward, not questioning if God heard you, but knowing that He did. Not wondering if it was enough, but knowing that it was. You have touched heaven, chosen one, and heaven has responded. There comes a time, chosen one, when the battle no longer belongs to you, when the strength you once summoned is no longer what carries the day, when the season shifts not because you have done more, but because heaven has stepped in. That time is now. This battle, the one that has drained you, challenged you, and tested the very core of your soul, it is no longer yours to fight. The Lord has taken it into His hands. You have done all you could. You have stood your ground. You have prayed, fasted, forgiven, endured, and stayed, when walking away would have been easier. You have responded with grace when attacked, held your tongue when provoked, and chosen peace when war would have been justified. And now the Lord says, "Stand still. I will fight for you." This is not weakness. This is holy surrender. The kind of surrender that draws divine intervention. The kind that moves the commander of heaven's armies to rise on your behalf. You are not without defense. You are not at the mercy of your enemies, your circumstances, or your past. The one who parted seas, who shattered walls, who silenced lions, now surrounds your life with unshakable power. You, chosen one, are not fighting for survival, you are being positioned for victory. There are conversations happening where your name is being lifted in favor. There are rooms being prepared where you will be welcomed not because of who you know, but because of who knows you. The Lord, who has seen every injustice and heard every lie spoken against you, is now bringing justice, not through vengeance, but through elevation. He will vindicate you without your voice. He will defend you without your hand. He will silence the accusations without your argument. The proof will be in the blessing that no one will be able to explain. Do not fear who rises against you. Do not chase every battle that calls your name. Not every opposition is meant to be confronted. Some are meant to be outlasted. Some are meant to fall by the hand of the Lord alone. And so you will walk head lifted high, not because you are unbothered, but because you are covered. You will move forward, not in pride, but in peace. You are not alone in this. You never were. What surrounded you in the fire was not emptiness, but divine presence. What sustained you in the silence was not luck, but holy breath. The Lord who shielded you in past battles will finish what he started in this one. And when it is over, when the dust settles and the noise fades, the only explanation will be this: the Lord fought for the chosen one, and the chosen one overcame. What is coming upon your life, chosen one, is not meant for you alone. The blessing that now rises like a dawn over your valley will not stop at your feet. It will flow outward, reaching beyond what you can see. This is not the kind of favor that ends in one generation, nor a breakthrough that benefits only the moment. What God is releasing now has weight, has legacy, has breath that will stretch into the lives of others, those you know and those you've never met. Your obedience, even in private, has created openings in the spirit. The prayers you whispered when no one was watching have built bridges for others to cross. The sacrifices you made quietly when no one clapped or thanked you are now becoming the foundation upon which healing and restoration will rise, not only in your life but in the lives of those connected to you. There are family members whose hearts are being softened because of you. Children and grandchildren who will be protected under the covering that your faith has summoned. Friends who do not yet understand that they are walking in the overflow of your endurance. Strangers who will be touched by the light in your eyes, by the grace in your words, by the peace you carry, peace that came at great cost, but that now radiates freely. You were never just being prepared for your own sake. You were being equipped for impact. The blessing is not the finish line, it is the beginning of a wider reach. God is multiplying what once felt small. He is breathing life into what once seemed buried. The dream you held close to your heart, the one you nearly gave up on, is being revived, not as a whisper, but as a force that will ripple through the lives of many. Do not underestimate the power of what you carry. You are a vessel not only of breakthrough, but of legacy. What was meant to break you has become the very thing that qualifies you to lead others out of the same prison. What once isolated you is now setting you apart. And what you are about to walk into will become a testimony that ignites hope in others who are still waiting. This blessing will not only rebuild your life, it will rebuild generations. It will heal bloodlines. It will restore what was lost in your lineage. You will be the turning point. You will be the answer to prayers spoken by those who came before you. And one day others will look at your life and say, "Because the chosen one remained faithful, we now stand free." Nothing you have endured, chosen one, will be wasted. Not a single tear shed in secret, not a single moment of heartbreak carried in silence, not a single disappointment that carved its way through your hope. Though pain tried to define your story, it has not written the final chapter. What once broke you is now becoming the very ground upon which your testimony will stand. The Lord is not merely healing you, He is transforming your pain into a witness of His power. You did not suffer without purpose. Every valley taught you to walk with discernment. Every night without answers taught your spirit to listen for the voice of God in stillness. Every betrayal trained your heart to lean not on human understanding but on divine truth. What others saw as losses, heaven recognized as the formation of your authority. You have wept, yes, but you have also been shaped by glory. You have bled, but from that bleeding, a new strength has risen, one that carries weight, compassion, and wisdom. Your scars are not shameful, they are sacred. They are not signs of failure, but of faith. You were hurt deeply, but you chose not to harden. You were wounded, but you still believed. You were disappointed, but you did not grow bitter. That choice again and again, to remain open, to remain pure, to remain faithful, is what heaven now honors with elevation. You, chosen one, have been entrusted with a testimony that will break chains in others simply by the way you walk into a room. Do not hide what hurt you. Do not conceal what crushed you, for it is through those very places that the light now shines. The enemy hoped your suffering would silence your voice, but instead it has sharpened it. It has carved depth into your spirit. It has made you dangerous to darkness. Your story is not a mark of what was done to you. It is a revelation of what God has done through you. And now others will hear it. They will be set free not just by your victories, but by your honesty. This is what redemption looks like. Not just restoration, but transformation. You are not who you were. You have emerged not weaker, but wiser. Not bitter, but bolder. Not broken, but built. Your pain has been turned into purpose, and your purpose is now awakening the world around you. This is the beauty of your journey, chosen one, that what once buried you has now become the evidence that resurrection is real, and through you others will believe again. This is the hour, chosen one, not just an ordinary moment, not just the turning of a page, but the unveiling of what heaven has long concealed in sacred silence. You are not approaching the edge of breakthrough, you are stepping fully into the center of its manifestation. This is not a glimpse, this is arrival, the place where long-awaited prayers become living evidence. The place where hope once held with trembling hands now anchors itself in undeniable reality. Everything that was promised to you, the visions that came in your youth, the whispers God placed on your heart in moments when no one else was listening, every word, every assurance, every holy echo that reverberated through the aching chambers of waiting. They are no longer fragments of the future. They are now the unfolding of the present. The drought has ended. The cloud has formed. The rain of fulfillment is falling upon your land. You are not stumbling into this. You are being ushered by divine order. The same hand that held you in delay is now lifting you into demonstration. The process that once felt like a slow unraveling was in truth heaven stitching together the unseen framework of promise. And now the veil is being torn, and what was once hidden is being made known not just to you but through you. You have become the testimony. Walk slowly, chosen one, not out of fear, but out of reverence, for you are walking on holy ground. The ground you are about to tread has been prayed for by generations. The rooms you are entering have been prepared long before your name was ever spoken on earth. The people you are about to influence have been waiting for someone just like you, someone shaped by sorrow, matured by mercy, and crowned by faithfulness. You are no longer a seeker of promise. You are a carrier of it. This fulfillment is not fragile. It is not shallow. It is not the result of chance or favor earned by effort. It is the manifestation of covenant, an agreement sealed not by your perfection, but by God's unchanging faithfulness. The things that are unlocking now were never outside of reach. They were simply waiting for the alignment of time, spirit, and readiness. And now all three have converged in you. Do not underestimate what is happening. The fulfillment coming into your life is not just for you, it is prophetic in nature. It is generational in impact. It is designed to set a new standard, to redeem what was lost before you, and to establish what will remain after you. You will not only receive, you will rebuild. You will not only harvest, you will plant again. What God fulfills in you will overflow into lands and lives you never imagined touching. And when it happens, and it will happen, there will be no question of who deserves the glory. The blessing will be too precise, too deep, too redemptive to be explained by strategy or effort. It will be clear to all who see it. This was the work of the Lord. It was His hand, His timing, His plan, His promise fulfilled. So rise, chosen one. Rise without the burden of former seasons clinging to your shoulders. Let go of what no longer serves the journey ahead. Leave behind the narrative that told you it was too late, that you missed it, that you were not enough. None of it was true. What is true is this: you are walking in the direct path of divine fulfillment. The soil beneath your feet has been watered with your own tears, and now it will bear fruit in front of every voice that once doubted your arrival. You are not behind schedule. You are right on time. The heavens are not silent, they are rejoicing. The promises of God are not distant, they are active. And you, chosen one, are not reaching anymore, you are receiving. Walk forward, not with the fear of failure, but with the authority of fulfillment. You are not stepping into possibility. You are stepping into prophecy, fulfilled. The journey has been long, but the glory that awaits will be greater than the pain that came before. You will not leave empty. You will not arrive unnoticed. You will not exit the promise half-filled. You will carry it fully. This is your moment. This is your inheritance. This is your fulfillment. It is done. Walk in it and never look back.